Well, it looks like this labor war between the union and the MLB owners is finally coming to an end. We're going to resolve this thing, and by tonight, we're going to know exactly what's going on, when the season is supposed to start, and it's going to be awesome if we can get some baseball, even though the conditions are not ideal at all. But let's talk about the whole thing and everything that's going on, and let's do it now.
Come, baby.
Enjoy this great game.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Humm Baby Baseball channel. This is Eric, and today we are discussing the current situation with baseball and what's going on. Now, last thing we know, there was yet another proposal, like the 863rd proposal sent between the MLB players and the owners. This time it was from the owners to the players. 60 games. I made a video on it. 60 games, full pro-rated salary like the players wanted. MLB just asked, please do not file a grievance against us. That's all we ask. Players said, F that. We will file a grievance. We will not agree to this. And sure enough, they voted it down. Overwhelmingly, they said no. So that proposal, offering the full prorated salary, a chance to actually come to an agreement, to actually say, okay, we got what we really wanted. We're going to agree even to not file a grievance. So there's going to be peace for a while, which is all that we want.
Player said F that.
No deal. No deal. So unfortunately, that was not going to work. Instead, we are finally at the point where, per the March agreement that the players and the owners came up with, per that agreement, Manfred is going to initiate a season anyway, and it's going to be reportedly around 60 games. So it's going to be a 60-game season anyway, so the players are going to get their full prorated salary, but now they're going to have the chance to file that grievance. Okay, very well. There are still some matters that are up in the air, and there are two requests from MLB to the players. They need to know by tonight what the players think about two things. One, can they report to camp by July 1st and get this show on the road? And number two, very important, what about the health and safety protocols? What happens if the season gets canceled because they can't finish the season, which I think is a very, very possible, maybe probable. You know, if someone gets infected with this thing, what's going to happen? They have to shut it down with money. Do you guys still need to get paid or not? Because that's important. They didn't hash all these details out in that March agreement, so they still have a couple of questions, and this could cause more problems, and this could cause more debates. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's an easy answer, and everyone agrees, and we get this thing going. So that agreement that was denied did include some extra things like an extended postseason and the DH in both leagues, so maybe those things won't be happening, which doesn't hurt my feelings any because I don't want the DH as an NL guy, but I do understand a lot of people do want the DH, and it's probably eventually coming, so I've accepted that. Not a fan of it, but it's fine. And as far as the extended postseason, I'm not a fan of that either, but since we're getting only a 60-game season, I would have been all for it this year. More baseball is better baseball. Let's get more baseball. For this year, I would have taken that, but I definitely don't want extended postseason as a long-term deal. So everything is looking pretty good, like we're going to actually get some baseball scheduled. It still might not happen. Like Jeff Passan said, he said something like, you know, don't count your chickens before the ink is dry and the hens come home.
Nothing is ever for certain with baseball. And until the ink is dry on an agreement, I don't think there's any counting your chickens before they come home.
Point being, don't get your hopes up too high. Nothing's for sure. First of all, between the players and the owners, nothing's ever for sure, okay, until they're actually out there playing. And even if they were to come to an agreement and they were fine, there's still the corona freaking virus. That thing is a big issue. Like I talked about earlier, when the Phillies camps got 5 guys got it, yeah, everything's shut down. That's what will happen. And I said, you know, I don't know whether it's necessary to shut everything down or not. I honestly don't. I meant that honestly because I'm not a doctor and I'm not a freaking scientist. I'm not a statistician. I don't really know. You just have to I just kind of have to trust what they say, even though I know there's a lot of people you can't trust what they say. Politics are everywhere and, you know, opinions are all over the place and you just don't know what to believe. But at the end of the day, better safe than sorry, I say. So if they need to shut it down, they need to shut it down. It's going to suck because I want baseball and I love baseball. That's just I'm being selfish, sure. I want some baseball, okay? But that doesn't mean it's the smartest thing to do to have baseball, okay? That's a different question. What I want, what some idiot here wants, and what is best, those are two different things. So, As of now, things are looking like Manfred is going to initiate the 60-game season per the March agreement. There's a couple questions that have to be answered by the players before he can do it. We should get all those answers by tonight and know exactly where we stand. But there's a lot of people and players even tweeting out like that, almost like that they thought that they blew this whole thing. Well, of course you blew this whole thing. And if you're saying that, then why'd you blow it? Trevor Bauer tweeted out, so we gave up shares of playoff money, eliminating the qualifying offer for 21, paycheck advance forgiveness, COVID-19 protections, and protections for non-guaranteed arbitration contracts for next year in order to hold on to our right to file a grievance. Well, maybe he voted to accept, I don't know, but it sounds like he thinks that they should have accepted. Maybe he does. Maybe he should come out and just flat out say that instead of just kind of implying it. I mean, do you feel like y'all should accept it? I feel like they should have accepted it just for the good of baseball and just to say we're at an agreement and we're not going to file a grievance because you're getting what you wanted. You're getting your pro-rated salary. And I understand there's reasons to reject it, and they did. But I just think for the overall long-term security and health of the sport, they should have just gone ahead and made that deal and accepted it. But maybe I'm wrong. What do I know? As I always say, what do I know? I don't know crap. I'm just an idiot talking baseball, but I've been a baseball fan for 35 years. I love this game, and so I feel like I do know a little teeny bit. And you guys do too, and that's why I love it, because you guys comment in the comment section, and we talk about this stuff, and I get a lot of insight from you guys. So anyway, are there any winners or losers in this thing? As far as I can tell, not really any winners. I mean, who wins in this deal? The fans might win a little bit if we do get a season that's going to be really cool and it's going to be awesome, and I can't wait for it, but it's going to be totally different. There's going to be no fans. There's not going to be as much hype at all. Players are probably going to refuse to play. That's a big thing right here. Because Manfred is initiating this thing, forcing players to play, a lot of them are going to show up. A lot of them are not. So it's going to be pretty weird. Rosters are not going to be as we expect. You can't start making predictions until you find out who's actually going to play, what's going on, how's the minor league system. There is no minor league system. How's that going to work? A lot of questions still unanswered. As far as the players union, well, they win because they're getting their prorated salary, what they wanted. They're going to be able to file a grievance, but they lose because a lot of people are pissed. Like, screw you guys, man. You said when and where. You got an offer, 60 games prorated. You refused it. Now, I know when they said when and where, they didn't say give us another proposal. They said tell us when and where, and that's what's exactly going to happen. So they are getting their wish. They're getting told when and where, but a lot of people are going to be really pissed off at the players. And they're pissed off at the owners too. I'm not so pissed off at the owners because I already know they're a bunch of greedy billionaires. It's not really a surprise that they're a bunch of greedy billionaires and that they don't really care about anybody and they don't care about anything except money for the most part. I'm not saying every single last one of them is that way, but I think that's the overall. That's the deal with billionaires. They're billionaires for a reason. So that's not too surprising. Players too, they got that strong union behind them. This is why it causes so much clashes and it's so stupid, you know, but we got to deal with it as fans and just hope that this thing doesn't happen very often. It wouldn't have happened this year if it wasn't for this terrible coronavirus. This is really what sparked this whole thing to happen, and now we have to deal with it. But anyway, we'll find out tonight. I believe that we are going to get at least on paper a date to start spring training, a date to start the season. What I'm not so sure about is that we're going to be able to finish a season successfully. What I'm not so sure about is what it's going to look like. What's the hype going to be like? How exciting is it going to be to talk about? I don't know. This is all new territory. Really, really weird. I wanted just to cover a normal baseball here because every single season has been the same my whole life. Excitement through the roof. I love the game. The only time that stopped was 94 when the strike came, and now we're kind of at a similar deal. But anyway, I don't want to get this video too long, so I'm going to cut that off there. That's what's going on. The basics, okay? MLBPA turned it down. Manfred's going to initiate a 60-game season. Couple more questions for the MLB players to go ahead and answer, and then we're going to get a schedule. And assuming the coronavirus thing doesn't stop anything, we're going to get some baseball really soon. And I can't wait. And that's the situation. But don't count your chickens before the eggs hatch. Is that how it goes?
Don't count the chickens.
Have a great day. Hit subscribe, hit thumbs up, and check out my latest video on the Trevor Bauer versus Aubrey Huff conflict. Pretty funny stuff on Twitter. Stupid, but funny. Have a fantastic day. I'm going to talk to you later. See ya! When the Giants